Three-time loser. I was barely 19 years old. I had a bed and a Bible down in the hole. And they'll never let you go. Once they got you, they'll never let you go. They get all that state money, store your soul. Well, I made parole in '65. I felt like a rabbit running, and I got myself back inside, where I could hear that eagle coming. They're tearing down home, sweet home, bar by bar, stone by stone. Goodbye, Brushy Mountain. Goodbye, Brushy Mountain. They hid me away, son, in those Tennessee hills. They hadn't moved me to Jackson, I'd be hidden away still. And it's 25 years gone, it's 35 years gone, and all that time gone, it's just gone, 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 gone. They're tearing down home, sweet home, bar by bar, stone by stone. Goodbye, Brushy Mountain. Goodbye, Brushy Mountain. Goodbye, Brushy Mountain. Goodbye, Brushy Mountain.
Beautiful, beautiful. Come on over and join us.
We're following you.
We're following you. Well, Lesley, welcome back.
Thank you. Do I look a little bit more tan?
Little tan. Look like you've been in Florida, maybe.
Yes, yes. The land of Jimmy Buffett. Songs.
Nice.
Where it's 5 o'clock somewhere. Right, Nathan?
Everywhere.
I think he likes that. Yes. So that was Nathan Bell. He's an alum, right?
He's been on before.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Nathan, as well. Welcome you guys. It's Music
Hey.
Wednesdays time.
It's a 57. I love it. Thank you.
We are.
I'm going back in old school. Old school.
Yeah, that's what it feels like, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, fun.
Talk
Cheers.
like this and stuff. It's we're at the library, the studio at the Chattanooga Downtown Library, the Public
Woohoo.
Library. We this is our
Cool.
third week, and we are figuring out how to use all this amazing
man.
space and equipment. What do you think?
I think this is incredible, actually.
It's very cool.
Yeah.
I know, it's amazing that it's here. People have been asking me all about it. Like, they have instruments and drum set up and basically everything, and you guys can figure out how to use it yourselves and go to their page on Facebook and their website, and we have all that cool stuff for you. But Nathan, you had fun over there?
Oh, that's great. This is wonderful. I get to wear the headphones, too. I look real professional. And
Yeah.
Everything about
Pro.
this place looks professional.
I was thinking
It's
maybe we
that-
should
maybe
we should delay takeoff for a little while while we waited for the other planes to get out of here.
for the hand signals. But yeah, it's a
Next
beautiful
time.
space, and it's designed, as we've said, for teaching young kids how to be engineers and producers. But
Yeah, it's all about education with Kessler. He's great.
Kessler Kaufman with Dynamo Studios, and Meredith Levine and Corinne Hill with the library. So thanks to them. But
Cool, smart people like
let's
you.
talk about you.
What's up with you?
We can talk about me if you want.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was going to be this nice, so I left my sleeves at home. But other than that, you know, it's like
That's what they all say.
yeah, I know. Most of them can't do that. So it's,
Nice.
I'm old, but I still have leftover fat that makes it look like muscles. It's
Just
very
love.
awesome.
He's modest.
It's very awesome.
What's the last month or so been like for you? You released Love is Greater Than Fear,
Yeah.
48 Hours in Traderland.
Yep.
It's gotten unbelievable reviews around the world.
Including yours, which I appreciated.
Well, you're welcome.
He's
Great.
You turned me into a person who I now, when I go to the Pruitts, I have to wear sunglasses. But other than that,
Oh.
You're on
no,
anonymity
just because
is
my
gone.
eyes don't do well. So it doesn't change anything really. It was wonderful though. It
You
was,
live up there?
I live on Signal, which is the
Me too.
strangest thing for me.
It is so weird.
Yeah,
we
I
should
mean,
hang out.
We should, and
Yeah.
we'd still both be white, but we could
Right.
hang out.
True.
You
Yeah.
wouldn't be the only one.
Well, no, it is a beautiful, place, and obviously some interesting people.
You know, actually, the neighborhood we live in is
Let's not give out the
a
address,
neighborhood
but I
you
could
would,
guess.
but it's a neighborhood you would find almost anywhere. you
Yeah,
know,
I know what you're
and-
talking about.
And our second home, we bought 2 houses up there, neither of which even came close to being a mansion. You know,
Oh, who needs that?
Let's be clear. You don't currently own 2 homes up
I
there.
own 6 homes.
You're like a summer
I'm
house.
like the
and
Jared
you're-
Kushner of single. No, I have we just switched houses when our son got too big for.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seriously, too big.
So you've been feeding the local fame.
Local
And
flavor.
what else? I mean, it's all fake though. Fame is just a perception, and it's really what the music is the cool part about it, and the rest of it's just gravy, right?
You know, that's the truth. Is you have 2 choices, and not both of them are legitimate. You can decide, especially when you're young. I'm too old for that. The business doesn't. Well, it's true. The business doesn't really care for older people unless there's some kind of connected. And the last
Okay,
thing
John Mellencamp.
well, but he's been doing it since he was 20.
Yeah, I love
You know,
it.
I didn't come back into the real world of playing again until I was almost 50. So during my youthful days, I made the wrong choices in terms of being better known, I guess, and I wasn't the right guy at the right time. But you can make 2 choices, and both of them are legitimate. You can choose to be in this business to go as high as you can go. There's nothing wrong with that. You know,
It's hard.
it's an enormous amount of work, and people who like to make fun of people with backwards baseball caps who are doing music they don't like don't realize those guys are working 16 hours a day.
Yeah, it's
And
a lot.
It's hard work, and well, you can do what I do, which is in some ways the lazy man's way, which is I write what I want, I do what I want, and I take what I can get, and it doesn't make a lot of money, but I don't really owe anybody anything, which is cool.
Yeah.
You don't owe anybody, but literally, I mean, we'll put some links on the bottom of this, but the reviews They're all over the world, literally,
They are.
and they're really a lot of
Awesome.
praise. So
So people appreciate it.
if you're not
do.
making money, you say you're not. I have no reason to doubt you. But what does that mean to you to get that kind of reaction?
The people who listen to me tend to listen to me. Once they glom onto what I do, they stick around. You know, I'm sort of in that funny position that I still believe in cohesive, and so I get that crowd, and that crowd is getting smaller and smaller. But what was really interesting, and it means a lot to me, but what was really interesting to me was the last trip to the UK, the last trip to the Netherlands. For the first time, more than half the audience was under 35.
Wow.
I haven't seen that for acoustic lyrical music in this country yet. There are a lot of people who are on the Americana thing, but that's a certain, with all due what they do, there's a certain set of rules to be Americana.
Right.
I don't fit most of those. The beard gets me closer, but after that, I'm not really an Americana guy. I'm more like I'm stuck somewhere. And with this record, the reviews were surprising to me, to be honest with you. I'm putting out a solo album that was recorded literally, you know, each song was recorded maybe a one take or a second take. To do that is always a little bit risky, and I figured I'd put out my version of Neil Young's Tonight's the Night, that it would just disappear into and somewhere when my kids were like 40, someone would come and say, hey, we found this record of your dad's, do you mind if we put it out?
You know how I feel
But it's
about
done pretty
Neil.
well.
Loves her some Neil
It's my
Young.
favorite.
You know, Neil's made some horrible records in the process of making some brilliant records, and that's what everybody should do.
Well, that's like life.
You know, you have to have some ambition to be better at what you're doing or do something. Like I got the chance to Rapper Cap, right?
Yeah.
This is going to sound stupid, but I would love to work with that guy. I would love to work
Yeah,
with
he's great.
Outkast, even though I'm not sure where I would fit in, because that's where it's happening, you know.
Yeah,
And,
yeah, I understand.
you know, this like I bought a loop pedal, which is the embarrassment of most acoustic musicians, but I bought it because I wanted to be able to do something similar to what they do with scratching with records, and mixing now, but scratching when I started.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be able to put stuff together that was blended and interesting, and I don't use it the way somebody who's really worked with it a long time can use it, but it lets me give a kind of soundtrack feel, and that all comes from listening to hip-hop DJs.
Right. A lot of, musicians we talk to, the good ones I've found, I was just texting with Danimal this morning, local musician. Do you know him?
No.
Yeah, so he plays around with all of that too, and it's really cool to see you guys are always wanting to try new things and experiment. I personally like the raw stuff from pretty much everybody, but that's just my like Neil Young. Yeah. So everybody likes something different, so I think it's cool to mix it up for everybody, because everybody has their own taste, really.
Everybody's done one thing. I was thinking about this the other day. You know that song, Life is a Highway?
Yeah.
It's like the greatest
Gonna ride
driving
it
song in the history of time.
all
right?
night long.
Was that Red Rider, Tom Cochrane?
Yeah.
Like one song, one hit. But in one moment in time,
Yeah, he captured it.
when he captured
Great.
something that everybody feels, right? So
That's
you just
difficult.
keep plugging along and hope that happens.
Yeah. That's a difficult way to go. Well, let's listen to some
Yeah,
more.
we'll do another one,
I'll
and then we'll
take
talk
this
about the record. We got to
baby
get
from
Shakeen
you.
back in here.
And so yeah, we're playing around here in the studio.
Yeah.
So Nathan's gonna. Yeah, we will.
Go.
Don't worry.
Go sit up. Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm going around behind.
So we're going to reset, and he's going to play another song, and then we'll talk about the new record, because it's a political record, but we're not going to talk politics per se, or specifics.
You know
though
what?
he can.
You know what?
For sure.
Nathan, we're having Democratic gubernatorial candidate Carl Dean, former mayor of Nashville, in tomorrow for our political Brews and News with Brian Joyce tomorrow at 11. So there you go.
Cool.
Little plug.
All right. I think he's ready. Like a
Who's the political? Who's running for governor from Nashville? Carl Dean. Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. This is I'm doing stuff off the new record. I may do one off an old record, but kind of hung around for a while. Well, I'm just one man walking here through the gravel and the empty cans of beer. seeing what I see and hearing what I hear. I'm fading fast, but I won't disappear. I'm fact and fiction, don't you know? One became the other a long time ago. The highs are looking a whole lot like the lows. I'm trying not to let it show. I'm 10 miles outside of Ducktown, Tennessee. I'm looking right at you and you're looking right through me. You don't know my name, but I'm one man walking just the same. Sometimes these are the hardest days, when the wind in the wire makes the wire fray. Doesn't matter what you do or say, but it means everything when you don't look away. Sometimes you see what you don't want to see. Sometimes a dollar buys you where you want to be. Sometimes you get exactly what you get for free. And sometimes you just get me. 10 miles outside of Ducktown, Tennessee. I'm looking right at you and you're looking right through me. You don't know my name, but I'm one man walking just the same. And you can close your eyes, but I don't go away.
That's right.
Yeah. Come on back over. Let's talk.
Oh, man.
We're making this complicated.
No, this is okay, man. I feel like I'm on So You Think You Can Dance.
People like to see. People like to see. It's a pretty guitar.
Yeah, it is. It's a Matt Shimala.
What is it?
I'll tell you when I get to the mic, because Matt deserves it.
The cred. Cool.
I just want to say dance is everything to me. When I was a kid and I didn't have any friends, dance saved me.
Really?
I'm just doing the So You Think You Can Dance interview thing. I want to do this for my parents who have broken up and my cousin who runs a beauty shop that burned down. No, it's a Matt Shimala. It's a Matt Shimala guitar, Shimala. He's out in Massachusetts. and
Matt
they are
Shimala?
the best guitars I've ever played, period.
Cool.
And if you're out there, if you're from Larrivee and you happen to be tuning in, I did try to talk to y'all.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Very cool.
Nice. Take a swipe. That's nice.
Such a great guitar.
For one thing, it's got a slightly wider neck than most, and this is the old guy thing. I got arthritis, and so having a little bit closer to a classical width neck makes a big difference for the way I play. Plus, the way the pickup system's set up, and there's a running joke. It takes 6 pedals to make it sound like an acoustic guitar when you plug it in.
I got you.
But because it's got light bracing, and for a small guitar, a fairly big sound, you don't end up with that. My wife calliope sound, where there's no bass at all, right? And it's just, and that can be a problem. This guitar doesn't have that. So, plus it plays great. It's just, I don't know. It's
Cool.
You know, I could be playing it when I die. It's that good.
Awesome.
Tell us about
big
this
thing, so.
record. You started out with a different goal in mind when you
Yes, I
started
did.
recording, and I've been thinking about this for a couple of days. Took a left
For
turn.
2 days. You think about that line for 2 days?
For 2 days.
All
I
right,
think
man.
about that.
Yeah, high five. That's a high five.
I just thought about the line you repeated. I'm looking at you, and you're
Looking right through me.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, that's personal.
Yeah.
That
That's
comes
pretty deep.
from an actual drive. When I was still working for I was driving up by Copper Hill and near Murphy and near Ducktown, and there was a guy walking the other way, and he didn't care about anybody else. He wasn't flagging a ride or anything. He was just heading down in the gravel, and I could tell, you know, that's what he did. He walked back and forth from wherever the hell he was, and maybe he didn't have a home. He actually looked like it. But what I thought about myself was my initial reaction was, you know, I wish that wasn't there. Now, which didn't say much about me, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm driving along wishing these guys would go away, and the truth of the matter is they don't go away, you know? They don't ever go away. They're always here. This country's rich, and there's always those guys. And that doesn't make any sense to me. So that's a self-recriminating song, if there ever
Interesting.
was one.
You intended originally to do an album of love songs.
I did.
Which, if not your normal bailiwick, would you
Not
tell me it
not
took you
traditional
30
love
years
songs.
to
Yeah,
get
I
enough for an album?
I wrote one I like, and then 30 years later, I wrote some more. Yeah.
Right.
Or along the way, I wrote a few, but they came back around, and then I wrote a bunch to go with them. So there's not a lot of love songs. There was one really good love song on an album that never came out that we wrote in Nashville called "This Wounded House," but now it's too long for me. I'm gonna have to
It's
either
too long.
rewrite it. Yeah, it's just too long. The song's too long. It's like 5.5 minutes of misery.
That doesn't
that
sound
kinda like
fun.
song.
No.
No.
So then, obviously, the election and the campaign started happening, and so you went a different direction and
Went a
realized you
different
had
direction,
some songs all work together. And what I wanted to ask you about, because you guys can talk politics specific tomorrow, but this is a political album.
Yes.
But you approach it, well, your way. You approach it the way you like to, which is storytelling. It's not a pound people over the head, like this guy, don't like that guy. It's more storytelling.
I have an unusual fortunate position in that the 20 years I spent in corporate America and the 40 years of working, because college didn't work for me, which is comical because my dad's a poet and a professor, but it didn't work. And so I worked at a lot of different jobs, and what I learned over the years was that the real politics is the rest of this stuff is just a way to hide money. And it irritates me. You know, we have one of the world's most wealthy men running one country, dealing with a man who's, you know, to be honest with you, and I'm sure there's people out there who like him, and that's their business. But it's not hard to find out that he's not very good at his job, and before he was president. So you have this. It's mostly about money, and it looks to me like the world's been taken over by grifters. You know, people that Jack Nicholson would play in a movie that made you feel bad when you left. So I wanted to tell stories about people. I wanted to be optimistic. I guess I take the Mandela approach, right? You do things wrong, and then when you decide to do things right, you have to invite everybody in for dinner because that's the only way you go forward. And I have friends on the left who don't want anybody for anything ever because they're really mad. But it doesn't work. You know, it doesn't. You have to. There are people who need to be punished. Let's face it. Society has legal rules for a reason. It comes to your average everyday guy who, you know, cast a vote and then maybe regrets it, maybe doesn't regret it, but has to live in the world going forward. You either make him part of the society or you accept the fact that you're not a society. And so this album is in some ways my attempt to throw a political album in that's about keeping us a society.
Yeah.
And it's a lot about those kinds of things, the working man, the guy on the road type of thing. It's a beautiful record.
Oh, thank you.
It's a real people. It's a moving record.
I always worked with real people. It makes it easier.
Yeah.
When I wasn't dancing.
This, I'm not sure I want to we'll stick with guitar playing and singing.
Yeah.
How's that?
I just keep waiting for Nigel to pop up and say, oh, no, you're not going on.
You did the record at your house, right?
Yeah, it's all self-recorded.
Um,
The first two albums were all self-recorded, too, but they had other instruments, and I went through the process. The only album that's got other people on it was recorded in Rec Room Studios in Nashville with Ben Surratt. Has Missy Raines Band on it, and that's that I Don't Do This for Love album.
right.
And I don't know what I'm going to do with the next one. I have the love songs ready. I've got about 15 songs, and I started recording the guitars, and what I may do is do a guitar vocal album with some of my favorite harmony singers on it, and that's all. I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure what, I know what the best financial and commercial decision is, but I may not make that.
Oh.
I see you going the other way.
And love songs are always good.
You're like me. I know what I should do.
Why don't you go somewhere in the middle of all that?
Well, that's, very wise thought. You should be my manager. You might last longer than the other ones.
Probably.
Let's, if you don't mind, do another one.
Yeah.
You gonna do one from the record?
I'm going to do one from the next album.
Oh,
Okay.
Is
Awesome.
that cool?
that's cool.
Yeah, you
Very
do whatever
cool.
you want. And,
Yeah.
It's a song that was recorded by my friend Rachel Brown up in Cleveland. It's my song, and she recorded it. And she sings like, she's the heir to Aretha Franklin meets Patsy Cline.
Oh,
One of the best
wow.
singers. Rachel Brown, Cleveland, Ohio. Look it up on the web.
Hey,
She's got a
Rachel.
smoking hot, and she's
Awesome.
better than 99.9% of the people making the big money.
Wow.
So
if you ever want to visit,
all right,
she needs to come down here.
yeah.
when you come back, we'll talk about show you got coming up.
All right, this is
Okay.
a dance about how it felt. To
All right.
You're
Here
going to
we
have to
go.
like start doing the cha-cha or something on your way over there.
I'm not sure I want to see the dancing.
I do.
Oh, Thanks. Appreciate that. You're never too old to dance. You just might be too old to have anybody else watch you dance.
Never too old.
I'm killing the guy on tech, man. I love this. You kill the tech guys, you're doing something
He
right.
likes it. He's a dancer.
Is he?
Oh yeah.
Because here's the truth. I was
can
people know me, know I took dance classes till just a few years ago, and I was the Mouse King in the Nutcracker,
Sure.
and it was the most fun I ever had. I could fall to my knees, but I don't. I could beg you for forgiveness, but I won't. I could swear that I will change, but it would still work out. Now all of my dreams fit into a suitcase that you threw into a truck when you climbed up next to him. My pride will never let me beg you not to forgive him. And the drunker I'm getting, the more I'm forgetting that this happens again and again. Whiskey, oh whiskey, you win. Well, I thought I'd hear from Jesus, but I didn't. Looking for the answer, it stays hidden. It's not that I don't give a damn, I just am the way I am. And all of my dreams fit into a suitcase that you threw into his truck when you climbed up next to him. My pride will never let me beg you not to forget me. And the drunker I'm getting, the more I'm forgetting that this happens again and again. Whiskey, oh whiskey, you win, you win. You can have everything, my love, my life, my gold wedding ring. Oh, whiskey, you win. There you go.
There we go.
More good stuff.
Definitely, definitely.
You want me over there?
Yeah, come on. Sorry. I'm sorry.
I know. It's a dancing act, remember?
It's pretty good, actually. It's like, how'd my solo go?
We're just playing around here at the public library, yeah. Well,
Way more work than I used to.
that's what I do to men.
There we are.
Make you
And
dance.
there we are. There's the people.
Yep. Thanks, Shaquem. Okay. Well, that was a treat. That was off the.
That'll be off the next one when it finally gets
Awesome.
done. Yeah, I won't bumble the words in the first verse when I sing it.
You've
I like
got a show this weekend, right? Or
We
you'll be
do.
playing?
Magic Birds is put one together, and I actually brought the flyer so I'd remember the names of everybody on it.
Oh,
and I
cool.
don't want to leave anybody off, so.
I'm glad you did
Okay.
because that's what I was just looking
Yeah.
up. Magic Birds is Scott Bruce, our friend Scott Bruce.
Oh, cool. Hey, Scott.
Who his partner that he normally plays with has a conflict, so he's actually going to be playing with Nick Let's Go, I think.
Oh,
This
awesome.
weekend. There it is. With Nathan, Drakeford, Sweet Georgia Brown, Magic Birds,
And where is the show?
Art. It's at Barking Legs.
Oh, I love Barking
One more
Legs.
guy. Who was the other guy? Christopher. Yeah, that's what it is. Okay.
So it's 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock.
Oh, you need that.
Barking Legs.
8 o'clock, Barking
yeah.
Legs this
I'm the only
this
guy,
Saturday.
I think, who didn't name himself after a band. No, that's Chris. I think Christopher, too.
But yeah, so
Cool.
Nick will be there with you, and you're playing. This is a Barking Legs. This is Scott Bruce, like I said, with Magic Birds. It's a round table,
Yeah, it'll be songwriters. I think it's stretched straight across the
which
stage
is cool.
with the
They
alternate.
plays a little bit,
Alternating
talks
stuff,
about
yeah.
what they
Oh,
do,
fun.
and Scott, he's done 6 or 7 of these now, so it's very cool.
Awesome.
You don't play a lot around.
Not anymore, no. I did when I was younger and when the Bluebird was the Bluebird the way it used to be. To give it a fair shake, it's different now. It sells out immediately. It sells out to a tourist crowd. To be honest, they don't care who's playing. They love whoever's there, and it's fine. And it's what we used to say was a sort of low expectations in the sense of you just get up there and play, and they love you. The old days, it was rough. It was full of songwriters and musicians, and a lot of times frustrated songwriters and musicians. So you had to win over the crowd with your songs, and I loved it in those days. It was
Good
a
old days.
real challenge. Yeah.
What about Roberts? I like Roberts.
Robert's Western Wear?
Yeah.
I don't know Roberts anymore because I can't go down on Broadway because
Yeah.
I get in fights.
No. I
gotta
took
go
my
down.
kids honky tonkin' on a Sunday afternoon.
On
They
Sunday
liked it.
afternoon, though.
Yeah.
Go down there on like a Thursday night.
I wouldn't take my
And
kids.
the only
then.
way you can stay out of a fight is by just running.
Oh, I don't
Didn't you tell
like
me you
fighting.
occasionally, or maybe this was a few years ago, would just show up at an open mic?
When I started playing a gig, actually even in the early days in the 80s, I'd come to open mics and play, and I didn't think I was famous enough that it mattered they knew my name, but just to keep things simple, I would not mention anything about what I've been doing. I just play. And open mic crowds are interesting because they can either be a bunch of music aficionados who show up every single week, like the Tremont Tavern, and they're a good crowd to play cool stuff to because they're listening for it, or they can be somebody's 26 frat friends to come hear them play Cat Stevens songs, and you got to try to win them over. So
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
a musical standpoint, it's a real interesting thing to do.
Yeah, I bet.
Just to bring people up to date, we're with Nathan Bell, it's Music Wednesdays. You've been on before, and we talked
Yeah.
about this, and
Wow.
it was in the story that I wrote. But you had a career, music career. You and a partner were doing quite well.
All right.
Americana, sort of
We
before
were
it was
kinda
even known as
our record El Ranco Motel is way ahead of when people started sticking drums and bass onto acoustic instruments and playing it like rock and roll.
Who was your partner, and what was it?
Susan Shore, we were called Bell and Shore.
Bell and Shore.
And we had this funky little band. A guy named Dan Brown played bass. Drummer was a guy named Paul Cunliffe, and the Al Murphy was one of the greatest fiddlers in the country. Played with us on the record, and then our Dave McAnally, whom we used to call Dangerous Dave McAnally, was a software engineer and a brilliant dobro player.
Cool.
And if Dave's out there, you never looked that dangerous, but it was still, it's a good nickname. So it was a real interesting thing. The album did really well critically and sold less than 1,000 copies.
There you go.
And then children, and you got a job in the corporate world, and you basically, or not basically, literally
No, I
put
just
the
bailed.
guitar in the closet, and that was it, right?
That was it. And I'm a jock. I was a jock my whole life. And so once I found out that I was supposed to play golf in corporate America, you know what happens when you start playing golf.
You get in a lot of fights on the golf course, did
No,
you?
you know what's funny about golf? I used to do psychological stuff. Like around here, there's this real sort of heavy misogyny and sexism. You know, it's everywhere, but it's really
No
heavy here.
way.
So I used to wear. First of all, I wore these bite golfing sandals. They're
Oh.
really great. They're wide and you can really drive off of them, but they look funny. And then I had, instead of wearing a normal hat, I wore like a Tilly green hat that flipped it. And then if I was playing
That's
match
fun.
play, I had these Titleist pink balls that we got from Susan J. Komen at the company.
yeah, yeah.
And I would take them out and
Yeah,
play with them. And
that's
it was
great.
worth 3 holes while the guys that I was playing with tried to figure out what the heck was going on.
Well, it sounds like you were entertaining.
I was, if nothing.
It sounds like
also
when,
Good, right?
when you weren't playing
I
the
got
guitar to find something to entertain yourself.
So I think golf took over for that. It's
Yeah.
to strive toward. But the truth is, and this is the real honest truth, is that I have this sort of amazingly wonderful life that was partly because, 90% because I stopped playing. You know, I was home with my family. I was in wireless when wireless was growing. So to be honest with you, there was quite a bit of money. And musician, I hadn't seen any money. You know, bought a house.
You
bought
stopped playing
cars.
music, not golf. Just
No,
to be sure.
well, I did stop playing golf.
Right.
I got fed up, but like
so,
everyone else.
So time-consuming.
Well, it costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time. And once you reach a certain point when you're playing the ball down and you're playing in tournaments where you don't get any scratch anymore,
Yeah.
you have to practice constantly to be terrible,
Oh.
right? So it's like, but that time of coming home every night to my family, to the dinner table, which when I was a child, was a place to be. My father, mother, and brother and I, we used to call it the Catskills because the whole goal was to make my mother laugh. You know,
Oh.
and this continued on. My wife Lesley, she's our target of mirth, and my son and daughter
Leslie.
can make them laugh. We can make her laugh
Aw.
in a way that no one else can. So, I had really 15, 16 years of easily paying the bills of the job I really loved. The last few
sweet.
years, I don't like it there, but that had to do with the mergers. But without that, none of these albums sound like they sound too. I mean, everything plays
Yeah.
into
You
place.
are who you are.
You
And
know?
so you
Experience.
left that course
Mhm.
and became a musician again. So 4 albums later,
And 4 albums later,
You're here.
I'm still a musician.
you're here
That's
with
pretty
us.
weird, actually.
All right. Well, cool. Barking Legs this weekend. People
Saturday.
can find the record Love is Greater Than Fear, 48 Hours in Traderland.
It's everywhere. iTunes,
It's everywhere. yeah.
Amazon.
It's also very good.
You can steal it. The Czech Republic put it up for free seconds after it was released.
Nice.
Show that they have no clue, because why would you steal my record and put it up for free? Right? Like,
I'll try to find it and post it.
no,
for you
here's
guys.
here's what I don't get. I get that like the new Radiohead comes out and somebody thinks they can steal it on their site to get site traffic, right? Because it's Radiohead and they have like millions of fans. What are you
I love
getting from
Radiohead.
me? What are you getting? If you tell somebody that you can get my album free, they go, "Oh, who cares?"
Yeah,
you know, and then
right.
I don't know.
Well, you
It makes
should
sense.
know there people who do things a lot of the time and they don't know why. So
That's true.
Yeah.
Pretty much sums up most of our lives, doesn't it?
yes.
Will you do one more? And we'll,
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Okay,
much.
Thanks
So-
for having me, man.
Thanks
Thank
for coming
you.
in.
And I don't, I'm kind of a right turner, so I didn't mean to ignore you. I'm one
Oh,
of those
thanks.
guys that looks this way.
Well, I
And so,
appreciate you letting me know that.
You know, it's like it wasn't sort of like.
I didn't take it that way, but I
Good.
appreciate that.
I'm glad. Next time you guys can switch. And
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it.
Barry
Yeah.
will get his
I'll know
feelings
next
hurt.
time.
Listen, the
Good
crew
idea.
here, man, they were awesome.
Yes.
Thanks, everybody. We'll
Okay, we're gonna go out on this one with Nathan Bell, and I'll link you guys to Barry's review and places where you can find Nathan's music and information about Barking Legs. So I'll do that later today. I'm always doing it.
Always linking.
Always doing that.
And
Yeah.
thanks to Kessler and Meredith
Library.
here and our new engineer, Tyler, and Elizabeth, of course, the intern. And thanks so much for
Thanks.
coming
Thanks,
in.
Barry. Thank you. Here's the thing, man. We're in a library. The one thing we ought to be doing is reading more. So this is my instructions for getting through all this stuff. Well, I've been listening for the airplane, static on the radio. That ain't no way to live a life Gotta live the life you know in trader land. Don't count days before hours. Don't count hours before minutes. Don't count minutes before seconds. Don't count anything at all in trader land. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free in trader land. Don't tell you what to read. Don't let them tell you what to say. Don't let them tell you who to love. Don't let them tell you who to save in trader land. Don't let them tell you where to live. Don't let them tell you who to feed. Don't let them tell you anything at all. Don't believe a single thing you hear in trader land. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free in trader land. In one nation under man. No wall will ever stand against all our love. Against all this. Against all love. We shall be free. We shall be free. We shall be free. One time we shall be free in trader land. In trader land. Oh, this land is yours. This land is mine. This land is our land in trader land.